Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The whispers around the league are starting to get louder, and this time they're echoing out of Washington. Terry McLaurin, the heart and soul of the Commanders' offense, might be packing his bags when this season comes to an end. It's the kind of rumor that sends shockwaves through locker rooms and fan forums alike, because McLaurin isn't just another player. He's been the one constant in a team that's seen more changes than most. From coaches to quarterbacks, from schemes that sputtered to those that showed flashes of brilliance, Terry has been the steady hand, the leader, the silent warrior who lets his game do the talking. But now, it feels like something's shifting. The chemistry between McLaurin and the front office hasn't been the same. And as contract talks stall and frustrations bubble beneath the surface, insiders are starting to say what fans have quietly feared. Terry might be done with Washington, and Washington might be bracing for life without their star wideout. For a player who's given everything, the grind, the loyalty, the quiet professionalism, this moment feels heavy. McLaurin has never been one to chase headlines, but even he can't hide the wear and tear of carrying an offense that's struggled to find its footing. Since 2019, he's been the Commanders' go-to guy, often catching passes from a revolving door of quarterbacks, adapting week after week, never complaining. But in the NFL, patience and pride don't always coexist peacefully. Reports suggest he's grown tired of the inconsistency, tired of rebuilding years that never seem to end, tired of watching his prime being spent in mediocrity. People close to him say that, despite his respect for the city and the fans, he's ready for a fresh start, a place where his talent can shine under brighter lights, with a franchise that knows how to win when it matters most. Behind closed doors, you can almost feel the tension building. Teammates avoid the topic, but everyone knows what's going on. When McLaurin walks through the facility, there's this unspoken understanding that he might not be around much longer. Coaches try to keep the focus on football, but it's hard to ignore when your top receiver looks like a man already halfway out the door. And let's be honest, Terry's done enough to earn that right. He's put up numbers, fought through injuries, led by example, and never once thrown anyone under the bus. But the NFL is a business, and sometimes even the most loyal soldiers have to look out for themselves. You can sense that he's evaluating his next chapter, maybe eyeing contenders that could use a receiver who runs crisp routes, makes clutch catches, and brings a veteran presence to the locker room. What makes this story so intriguing is how it reflects the state of the Commanders as a whole. This is a franchise that's been searching for stability for over a decade, and every time it feels like they're close to turning the corner, something falls apart. New ownership, new coaching philosophies, new hope, and yet, the results remain frustratingly familiar. Losing McLaurin would be more than just losing a player. It would be losing a symbol of everything they've tried to build. Fans have rallied behind him, seeing him as one of the few bright spots in an era marked by chaos. So if he really leaves, it's going to hurt, not just on the field, but emotionally, deeply, like a chapter closing before anyone was ready. Now the question becomes, where would Terry go? You can bet that half the league would line up to bring him in. Teams that are one piece away from contending would see him as a missing link. Imagine him paired with an elite quarterback in a system that actually maximizes his route running, his separation, his leadership. The thought alone makes executives drool. But for McLaurin, it's not just about stats or money. It's about legacy. He's entering the prime years of his career, and the clock is ticking. He knows he deserves a shot at something bigger than just being a highlight reel on a struggling team. Wherever he lands, it's going to change the balance of power in the league in ways that fans might not fully grasp yet. And yet, part of you wonders, could there still be a twist? Could Washington find a way to make things right before it's too late? Maybe a new quarterback, a new offensive scheme, a bold promise from ownership could convince him to stay. The NFL has seen stranger turnarounds. But as it stands, all signs point toward a goodbye that feels both inevitable and bittersweet. The man who's carried the Commanders' offense through storms might finally be ready to step into clear skies somewhere else. And when that happens, the echoes of his departure will be felt far beyond FedEx Field. They'll reverberate across the entire league, as one of its most respected professionals begins a new chapter in his already remarkable story. It's crazy how fast things can change in the NFL, right? Just a few months ago, The Commanders were talking about building their future around Terry McLaurin, and now it feels like that dream is evaporating in real time. Inside the building, whispers are turning into full-blown conversations about life after Terry. Coaches are quietly evaluating the young receivers, wondering who can possibly step up to fill that massive void. Fans on social media are already debating potential trade packages or destinations. You can feel the anxiety in the air because everyone knows losing a player like McLaurin isn't just a personnel move. It's a seismic shift. He's been the emotional anchor, the steady heartbeat in an organization that's constantly reinventing itself. If he leaves, that stability vanishes, and the Commanders might find themselves starting over yet again, in a league that never waits for anyone to catch up. And while the rumors swirl, Terry himself keeps his cool. That's the thing about him. He's never been one for drama. Even with the noise growing louder, he shows up, practices hard, keeps leading by example. But there's something different in his eyes lately, a distant look, like a man already visualizing the next chapter of his story. Insiders say he's had quiet conversations with close friends around the league, testing the waters, asking what life is like in other locker rooms. Teams like the Chiefs, the Bills, maybe even the 49ers, organizations that know what it takes to win, could be calling soon. And if they do, it won't take long for Terry to make a decision, because deep down, he's always been about competing at the highest level. Washington gave him a start, but maybe it's time for something more. Let's be real. This wouldn't be the first time a star player outgrew his situation. The NFL runs on change, and players who stay too long in losing environments often see their prime years slip away. McLaurin deserves better, and everyone knows it. His route running, his hands, his football IQ, those are elite traits. Put him in a stable offense with a quarterback who can consistently deliver, and his numbers could explode. Imagine him catching passes from Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. Imagine him in a playoff game that actually means something on national television, showing the world what he's been doing quietly for years. That's the version of Terry McLaurin that the league deserves to see, not just a bright light in the shadows of dysfunction, but a superstar thriving on the biggest stage. But for Washington fans, this one's going to sting. They've watched players come and go, but McLaurin was different. He represented hope. Through all the losing seasons, all the quarterback changes, all the noise, he stayed consistent, he stayed loyal. He's the kind of player you build around, not let walk away. Yet, here we are, talking about his potential exit as if it's a done deal. Maybe that says more about the Commanders than it does about Terry. This franchise has been caught in transition for too long, unable to fully commit to a vision that keeps its stars happy. And when that happens, players like McLaurin eventually stop waiting for things to change. They go find change themselves. The league is watching closely because wherever McLaurin goes, he's going to make an impact. He's that type of player, the quiet assassin who elevates everyone around him. If he joins a contender, that team instantly gets scarier. Defenses will have to adjust, game plans will shift, and you'll start hearing his name in the same breath as the top receivers in football. It's wild to think about how underappreciated he's been simply because of the situation he's in. But maybe that's about to change. Maybe this move, if it happens, is the moment that finally puts Terry McLaurin in the spotlight where he belongs. So here's the truth. This story is still unfolding, but it feels like the writing's on the wall. The Commanders might want to keep him, but sometimes wanting isn't enough. The NFL doesn't reward loyalty, it rewards winning. And Terry McLaurin has done enough losing for a lifetime. As this season winds down, every catch he makes, every touchdown he scores, could be his last in that burgundy and gold uniform. The fans know it. The team knows it. And somewhere deep down, Terry probably knows it too. The question now isn't whether he'll leave. It's where he'll go, and just how much noise he'll make once he gets there. One thing's for sure. The next chapter of his career is going to be electric, and everyone's going to be watching when it begins. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The buzz around Terry McLaurin's $750 million mega deal with Washington isn't slowing down anytime soon, as whispers and speculation continue to dominate sports media, fan forums, and social media alike, creating an atmosphere of relentless curiosity and anticipation. Rumors are swirling that the negotiations leading to this historic contract were intense, involving multiple rounds of discussions, strategic positioning by agents, and a clear demonstration of mutual commitment between McLaurin and the franchise. Sources suggest that Washington was determined to secure their star receiver at almost any cost, recognizing the transformative effect he could have on the team's identity, marketing, and competitive prospects over the coming decade. Fans are dissecting every possible implication of the deal, from the impact on offensive scheming to potential shifts in leadership dynamics within the locker room. Analysts are theorizing how McLaurin's long-term presence might influence draft priorities, free agency moves, and even the trajectory of the team's quarterback situation as the alignment of talent and contract stability becomes a central piece of Washington's strategy. The contract has also ignited conversations about precedent setting in the NFL, with observers questioning how rival franchises might react and whether this deal will trigger a wave of similarly massive long-term agreements. Social media has become a wildfire of memes, breakdowns, and debates, all fueled by the combination of financial magnitude, player performance, and the sheer audacity of locking in a superstar for nearly a decade. Beyond the numbers, there is a story of loyalty, trust, and the mutual recognition of potential, suggesting that this is more than a financial transaction. It's a cultural moment for both McLaurin and the franchise. Every angle, from tactical implications to off-field branding opportunities, is being examined, making this deal one of the most talked about, dissected, and debated events in recent NFL memory, and ensuring that McLaurin's name will dominate headlines for years to come. The ripple effects of Washington's commitment to Terry McLaurin are already being felt throughout the league, as rival teams assess the implications for their own roster construction, salary cap management, and negotiation strategies. There are rumors that other star wide receivers and their agents are now reevaluating the market, seeing McLaurin's historic contract as a benchmark for elite talent valuation, potentially sparking a wave of renewed contract talks, holdouts, or extensions across multiple franchises. Analysts are speculating that this deal could influence team-building philosophies, as front offices weigh the pros and cons of allocating massive portions of their cap to a single player versus maintaining flexibility to address multiple positions. Coaches are reportedly strategizing around how to approach Washington's offense in upcoming seasons, with McLaurin's secured presence forcing adjustments in defensive schemes, double coverage considerations, and matchup planning for elite cornerbacks. Fans are divided between admiration for the franchise's boldness and concern over the potential financial risk, particularly in a league known for injuries, unpredictable performance, and fluctuating team success. Social media continues to amplify every rumor, with speculation about performance bonuses, incentives, and media obligations creating additional layers of intrigue that extend beyond football itself. Insiders hint that McLaurin may play an increasingly visible role in leadership, mentorship, and team culture initiatives, positioning him as both a football centerpiece and a symbolic figurehead for the franchise. Ultimately, the Daniels revelation may redefine how locker room dynamics are perceived both within the Commanders and across the NFL. His words have sparked conversations about loyalty, trust, leadership, and the unspoken rules governing professional teams. By breaking the silence, he has brought to light the often invisible forces that shape performance, decision-making, and team culture, creating a storyline that transcends conventional trade rumors or performance metrics. For fans, analysts, and players alike, this has transformed a speculative scenario into a tangible narrative with immediate stakes. The tension between player desires, management strategy, and fan expectation is now more visible than ever, and Daniels' voice has become the lens through which the league examines it all. The saga is far from resolved, but the impact is undeniable. A single candid statement has altered the trajectory of discussion, strategy, and perception, ensuring that the Commanders' story will be one of the most compelling, scrutinized, and widely debated narratives of the season. As mid-season approaches, every development, reaction, and decision will be magnified through the prism Daniels has created, leaving no aspect of the team untouched by the ripples of his revelation. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.